me try and hold it this way and see how long I can do this for. Okay, I decided to just do this impromptu. Hi, hello, hi guys. Today I'm gonna talk about my piercings, more specifically 1 year after getting my Rook. Sorry, maybe you can see my Rook, my Helix, and on the other side my Conch. How they have healed some of the process, and what did I do to take care of it, and also how I sleep. So back when I was searching up videos and articles before I got my piercings, I came across a lot of videos that talk about how the process of the piercing was and how they felt immediately afterwards, like usually within the next day or the week. But I couldn't find that many videos that were talking about how it was after like a year or so. So I thought I'll just make this video to share a bit about how it is some time after the piercing has healed. So right now, this is September 2019. I got this conch piercing in February 2018 and my Rook and Helix together in December last year. So it's been more than a year for the conch and about 9 months for this too. It looks a bit weird because I've been touching it while I was thinking about what to say, but it's fine. Okay, so before I start, just a little disclaimer. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm just sharing some of my experiences and what has worked for me. So if you have any other questions, I highly recommend you I highly encourage you to check out other articles or videos, and if there are still questions after that, to ask your piercers, because they are professionals and they should be able to answer your questions. So let's just get into it. So the first part is about the piercing process itself. So I got the conch first. Maybe just a bit of preamble. So I do have two lobe piercings on both sides, done with a gun. So that was all the experience of piercings that I had before I got into cartilage piercings. So the conch piercing is my first cartilage piercing, and I got it done in Singapore at Piercing Clinic, I think it's called. So these two are done at Rise Above Tattoo and Piercing. So when I got this piercing, I wanted it to be a really professional and clean shop. So not saying that the rest are not clean, but I just wanted to be really sure that these people know what they're doing, because it's my first piercing and I am aware that the conch is a thicker piece of cartilage. So I wanted it to be a bit easier, because I suspected that it would be more painful, which actually wasn't really the case. But anyway, so I went to the piercing shop, piercing clinic, and I went with a friend. So we went in, we sat down. They knew what we wanted because we had to make online appointments to get the lower price. I paid about 120 plus for this. I can't remember. I paid extra because I wanted the titanium barbell, and they also required us to buy some spray for the aftercare. So it added up to be more than 120, but I think that was the base price. So for this, they sat us down before we went into the actual piercing area, and with a marker, they will dot where your piercing is supposed to go, and you can look into the mirror to see if that's the position that you want. So for the conch, it was quite simple for me. The only concern I had, because I wear glasses all the time, is that my piercing had to exit out. I don't know if you can see, but it has to exit out on the back where it won't hit the stem of my glasses. I hope this is showing you the right thing. So I raised the concern to my piercer. He was like, sure, I can make it work for you. So after that I went into the piercing area, and he wanted me to lie down for this conch piercing, because he would pierce it like looking over me. So I was lying down, and then he was braced over the chair or the bed, and then after that the hollow needle went in. So I can't really remember now, a year after the fact, how it felt. He put some numbing spray first, so I didn't really feel anything, but I think pressure. And yeah, so the needle went in, and after that the barbell will be attached to the back of it, so it will go down as well. And then after that, on the other side, he will screw the other end of the barbell to keep the jewellery in place. So that was how this one was done, and because there was the numbing spray, I didn't really feel the pressure, like the warmth of the wound, until about like an hour or so after. So with this too, I had some experience in my conch, so by then my conch was mostly healed before I did this other side, right? So for this too, similar process. The piercer got me to sit down and then dotted the marks with a pen. I remember asking him to move the helix lower, so I think he dotted it somewhere higher and asked him to move it lower because I wanted them to sort of match. Yeah, so looked into the mirror, and then after that asked him to shift it down. Then he started to pierce. So he did the rook first because of the placement. It was more inside, and it was easier to do the rook and then the helix rather than the other way. So the rook went in quite fast. It's just a curved barbell instead of a straight one. So it went in with the needle and then the curved barbell, and similarly he also had to screw up the end. And then the helix went in a similar manner as well. So the difference between this, I forgot to say the price. This was about 60 to 70 per piercing, and so it's definitely a lot cheaper than the other one at piercing clinic. So this is Rise Above in Far East. It's definitely cheaper, and they already used titanium piercing from the start. This one was stainless steel, so I had to request for it to be changed to titanium. Because I know I sometimes react to stainless steel. So yeah, well, I mean, just do your research and decide where you really want to go. I had my reasons for going to each of it, so that was some of my experience. So now only my rook has its default piercing. I have changed out the rest, so this is now a circular barbell, and I have a circular barbell in this conch as well. So that was the piercing process, and now let's talk a bit about the healing. So the most cartilage piercings take about 3 to 6 months to heal, at least that's what it says on Google. So this my conch took me 6 months, and then the root was about 6 months as well. But my helix till now is it's mostly healed, but I think sometimes when I press the wound, it is still slightly tender in the deeper parts of it. So now I'm on about 9 months, so this is still not quite 100% healed, but it's getting there. Yeah, so I think it really depends on your body, and also, you know, how you take care of it. I mean, I did whatever I could, so the rest healed. I mean, I suppose the helix was just in a weird position. Anyway, what I usually do is, in the first month, I would wash it twice a day, including the time when I showered. So I would just use my facial wash when I'm washing my face in the morning. I'll just use a bit of the cleanser, because I have a very mild cleanser, to just run over the areas and then rinse it with water. Then after the first month also, I would do it once a day during the shower, because it's easier to just like let water run through it. Of course, as and when it sort of got a bit more inflamed, like a bit more warm, I wouldn't say it never got infected. So then I would, go back to doing it twice a day, and that's about it. I only really changed the piercing about 6 months after, when I was pretty sure that everything has healed. So this was pierced with a straight barbell, and I changed it to a few different different variations of barbell. So most of those were quite easy to sleep on. I find the circular barbell, anything that's a hook, a bit more difficult to sleep on for my conch, just because I think when I press on it, it gets a bit more painful, but when I pull on it, it's fine. So yeah, but initially when it was healing, it was a bit difficult to sleep on this side. So I would have to sleep mostly on this ear. And then when this was healing, the root was actually very not problematic at all, because I think it's very well protected. But the Helix had the Helix would sometimes hurt if I slept, if the jewellery is kind of in the wrong place when I sleep. So there is that. I think some of the videos that I watched suggested getting those pillows with a hole, or you know, like those neck pillows when you travel, to use it to put on your pillow instead, or like use instead of your normal pillow, so that there's a hole in your ear when you're sleeping, so it's supported. Yeah, so I mean, find something that works. I didn't really have to resort to using a travel pillow. I just had to sleep on the side that I wasn't freshly pierced, and that was enough for me. So sleeping, how it healed, what do I wear in it? Yeah, so I mentioned that the Helix took a bit of time to heal. So one thing someone else with a Helix piercing told me was sometimes when you just have a straight barbell, it's quite difficult to clean, or quite difficult for the things, you know, like liquid to come out. So yeah, the suggestion was to use some sort of hook, which I did change, and so far it has helped the healing process better. Like now it doesn't hurt as much as it used to. Just, I mean, excuse the fact that it's very weird, it's just because I'm touching it a lot. It doesn't really hurt. Yeah, so that is how my piercings have done about 1 year into getting pierced. And for me, I really enjoy the piercings. I probably won't do it again anytime soon, just because it takes a while for it to heal, and it's quite difficult to sleep for me. Like I will wake up a bit, like, you know, I'll wake up a bit when it hurts and I have to turn, but it was okay. I mean, like, that's in the past. I don't know whether I want to do it again, but that's definitely something to consider. So I hope this has been helpful, and a little bit of the insight of, like, after having the piercings for like 9 months and a year and a half, how they have fared and what do I think about them now. I find for myself that the root piercing is the most fast free, is the most it was the most, well, I can't really remember for sure whether it was the most painless when it was being pierced, but it's the easiest to heal and generally caused me the least trouble even when I was trying to sleep. The Helix piercing, which I was quite surprised because a lot of people have this, turned out to be the most difficult to heal. And my conch, which I've read a lot about because it's also my first piercing, and the area that has the thickest cartilage actually did pretty alright. Yeah, so the only thing that I found for my conch is that it's a bit difficult to sleep when I have a hook, like hook kind of earring on it. But I mean, I manage if it's small enough. For anything that's a barbell, it needs to be balanced on both sides. So if the front is too heavy, like if there's jewellery on it, and then the other side is just like elaborate, which I do have jewellery like that, it starts to get a bit like lopsided, so it will hurt a bit. Then I have to change back to like a normal barbell that's more equally balanced. So that's the only thing that I really notice about this piercing. Other than that, it's pretty fun and pretty cool. And I think one thing that it really made me appreciate more, I think, is, like, you know, the shape of my ears. Funny as it sounds, but I don't think I really took that much care about, you know, how my ears were, or like until I had to really clean them twice a day. So that's just like a interesting side effect of having piercings. But ultimately, I think the draw for me has always been how it looks and how it makes me feel like, you know, a little cooler. So yeah, I hope that has been helpful, and if you have any other questions, you can leave them in the comments below, and I'll see if I can answer some of them. Alright, thank you. Thanks for watching. ago now.